We played the best T20 team in the world in India and we destroyed them.
मैं क्या सब लोग ही डिसअपॉइंटेड हैं।
जहाँ पे हम टॉस हार गए थे वहीं पे हम 80% मैच हार गए थे, ऐसे लगा मुझे।
Me and my family were really excited, but we were really disappointed when India lost.
Very disappointing today what India has showed us. We expected a class from India.
अरे बहुत ज्यादा डिसअपॉइंटेड है, बहुत ज्यादा दुखी है।
इंग्लैंड वालों की फील्डिंग बहुत अच्छी थी,
बहुत दिल तोड़ने वाली परफॉर्मेंस थी।
Just one word to express the feeling of each and every Indian fan, and we present that word on the screen right now. This is what every Indian fan is feeling right now. Humiliating defeat. I mean, there is a defeat where you take about 7-8 wickets, there are that last minute chase, or even some contest, some catches, some stellar fielding. But we lost by 10 wickets. England won by 10 wickets. They did not even lose 1 wicket. Our fielding was all over the place. Our bowling was all over the place. Our batting did not pick up when it was supposed to. And thus, that one word to in fact sum up the mood of the Indian supporter: humiliated. We were humiliated in the World Cup. We are out of the contest. But you see, there is a larger question, and we are going to discuss this as we go along on this show. Why has this happened? You see, there is a pattern. It's not a one-off. This is a pattern for a very long time. First, let's quickly tell you the mistakes that India made in the match. So the openers very clearly failed. We lost 3 wickets, reaching 75 runs. Our openers did not perform at all. In form, Suryakumar Yadav, and we saw that majestic batting where he would pick up a ball from somewhere and hit it somewhere else. He failed to perform. He just started off, hit a 6 and a 4, and then was caught out. So he failed to click. Rohit's strike rate is below 100. He managed 27 runs from 28 balls. I mean, his critics will say, why are you playing a test match over there? This is not how you play in a T20 contest. 27 out of from 28 balls. A test match, one can understand. One day international, 50 overs, you can still understand. But T20 cricket, perhaps no. Indian bowlers just failed to get in early inroads, early or any inroads. All our bowlers failed, all of them. Every over was very, very costly. 8 runs plus. From Bhuvneshwar Kumar to Ravichandran Ashwin, you name the bowler, Arshdeep, you name the bowler, and there was a crisis. Arshpreet, beg your pardon. Now let's quickly tell you why we say that this has become some sort of a pattern. And this pattern and this concept by fans is called chokers. That you choke in a big international contest. Let's go one by one of how India has performed since 2013, the last time we got a cup, an ICC cup. So let's take a look at our track record. The ICC World Test Championship 2019 to 2021, we lost the final to New Zealand by 8 wickets. So we go all the way to the final and semi-final, and then we choke right up there. The ICC World Test Championship, that was the record on your screen right now. Now let's talk about the ICC One Day International World Cup. In 2015, we lost in the semi-final. In 2019, we again lost in the semi-final. Let's now talk about the ICC T20 World Cup. In 2014, we were the runners-up. In 2016, we lost in the semi-final. In 2021, we lost in the Super 12. Let's now talk about the ICC Champions Trophy. In 2017, we were runners-up. In 2013, we won this trophy. So what has gone wrong that in all big tournaments of the ICC, India manages to reach the semi-finals, the finals, but does not quite make it? That you are in form till the semi-finals and the finals, and then something happens. Something goes wrong. Now, one of the criticism is, and of course this has the opinion deeply, deeply divided, that we are playing too much cricket. that there is so much focus on IPL and league cricket that the joy and pride of playing for Team India perhaps is not, and this is not just about players, we are not criticizing players alone, but the entire management, the board, the selectors, the coach, the players, the entire institution always tells itself and gives itself this comfort, something else coming up. 9 years, not a contest won of the ICC. This is a drought. Why do we get humiliated at that level? And to talk more about this humiliation, I have with me Anis Sarjan, cricket expert. We also have Seth Bennett, sports broadcaster from the United Kingdom, Sharda Ogra, senior cricket journalist, Rishi Chabra, Indian fan, and Chandrasekhar Luthra, senior sports journalist. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Let me first begin with you, Seth. I mean, congratulations to the winning team. This is a fantastic knock. I mean, this is, I would ideally say, had this been India, we would have been elated.
Well, look, I'm the only one on the screen grinning right now. It's been a really, really good morning for us here in England. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. It was a stunning performance. And when I woke up early this morning, I didn't anticipate for 1 second that England were going to be able to deliver that kind of performance under that kind of pressure. And particularly when you watch the Indian innings, you thought maybe they just wrestled the momentum back in the game. And that was going to leave England in a really, really difficult situation when maybe they should have been chasing 130. All of a sudden it was closer to 170. And that should have been enough for India to really put England under pressure. It didn't happen. And, you know, you talk about droughts. Well, there's a drought that English fans are going to be thinking about very, very soon when the FIFA World Cup starts in Qatar. 1966 we're still harking back to. So until you can at least reach double digits, you know, let's not be too serious about the disappointment.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's in the spirit of the game, I realize. But then, you know, you take football seriously, this country takes cricket very, very seriously, even if it is your game. Anis Sarjan, what do you think is going wrong? I mean, is there a cohesive team effort which is missing? Is there a problem at the selectors level? Why are we not firing as one unit? Or do you feel that this is just another game lost? It doesn't make much. Should not make much of this.
No, absolutely not. It's not another game lost. We are all here and we are all disappointed. But you asked me what is going wrong. Before the start of the World Cup, I remember in fact, when India lost last year in UAE, they said that they're going to play an aggressive brand of cricket. They will have intent and they will show the gung-ho style of cricket, which England has been following since 2015. Now, when they came into this World Cup, if you watch our power plays, that's been an average of around 36. This is, I'm talking about the batting. And when the power play is what sets the platform for a team to win or lose the game. But when I'm talking about this, also about aggression and bowling. You don't pick bowlers who are aggressive, who are match winners. You make Yuzvendra Chahal sit out when you've been brought him, and you all know leg spinners are match winners. So in short, if I have to sum it up, India promised aggression, England delivered it.
Sharda Ogra, how do you look at this? And you know, again, let me just quickly pull up those statistics. One is what happened and what went wrong in this match, and the other is our performance. You see, there is a track record. 9 years, and we each time we go right up to the semi-finals and finals, and then something happens.
Sanket, the first I want to say is that nobody who came on this program before, all the fans you spoke to, use the word humiliated. I think that's a bit extreme. They've said disappointed. We are disappointed. India has a lot else to be humiliated about, but we won't get into it here. But I think, you know, the today's game. It is 2020. It ends up being like a lottery, a knockout lottery. It's very easy to understand how the team lost today. You know, like Anil just said previously that India promised and England delivered. So you've seen that. Of course, everyone is very upset about that we haven't had an ICC title since 2013. And that's a valid reason. You know, I think fans want results, fans want trophies. But I also think fans are slightly more reasonable and they understand better what's going on rather than what you see the wahwahi that happens on television and the television broadcast and what they put out. India is playing a very old-fashioned form of 2020 cricket. And it's literally like they have just realized that they need to do something different, and this is what caught them today. And they actually played their best match in this tournament against Pakistan. And after that, it's been a bit iffy. Their performances have been iffy. You can say you lost to South Africa, which is the other very strong team in the group. And then South Africa, of course, went and did a complete surprise on everyone else. So you have to say that this is almost India's own game plan catching up with them. It's old game plan that's caught up with them today.
Okay. Chandrasekhar Luthra, where do you stand on this? I mean, one criticism also, since I've been following a lot of reactions that have come in post our defeat, and Sharda said that none of the fans that we mentioned right here use the word humiliated, but for want of a better word, when you lose with 0 wickets, when you take not even 1 wicket, and when you are thrashed out of the park left, right and centre, it is quite humiliating, don't you think, Mr. Luthra?
Well, again, if we are playing cricket, then obviously we have to be prepared for all these kind of situations. I think humiliation is for those who have been creating quota in Indian cricket. There is a whole set of, administration under Mr. Jai Shah, who is not being questioned by any journalist in this country. BCCI has become another form of Indian government. So nobody is asking questions to him because he is a honeybee of Indian cricket. Second comes the selector. The chief selector is also part of the party, So whatever he does, he takes a, command from the high command. So again, there are so many players from one particular state. I'm not blaming them. They might have, they must have come.
Mr. Luthra, I'm not going to go so far to criticize.
No.
I mean, as long as they deliver.
I'm just saying, were we playing the best team there? Obviously not.
Let's put that to a debate. Was this our best team? Let's put this to a debate.
This was certainly not our best team. Your X factor for last 2.5 years was Rishabh Pant. Why he was not playing? Just because your captain has a soft corner for Dinesh Karthik. I'm not saying that he should not be there, but the point is you have to play the match winner. Your match winner were only 2 or 3: Surya Kumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya. Obviously, Virat Kohli chipped in. But the point is, why were you not playing your best 11? Then your left-arm spinner, Akshar Patel, was he the right choice for this kind of track? Obviously not. This was a drop-in pitch. There was little bit of bounce that too was faulty. Their leg spinner did well. He got wicket. But our spinner could not create any trouble for them. Point is,
Mr. Luthra, wouldn't all of this be called hindsight wisdom?
No, not at all. I have been saying this for all this while, that obviously Rishabh Pant was obviously not picked up for certain reasons. Otherwise, in last 2.5 years, ever since we won that test match in Goa, if you remember, Australia lost after 30 odd years. He was your X factor. He was your match winner. Why was he not picked? Was he injured? No. He was obviously not picked up because captain wanted somebody else. It's the same reason why Raina played his entire cricket with Dhoni or Yuzvendra Chahal under Virat Kohli. There is a norm being set in Indian cricket. There is one quota from the board, one from the captain. So you keep on playing like this. Then we can view on, we can always discuss about these points.
Okay, sure. Let me, Rishi Chhabra, as an Indian fan, what comes to your mind? And this is an amazing country where you speak to anyone and you will get a great analytical piece on what must be done and what should not be done. So, in that context, Rishi Chhabra, I want to know from you, as a Team India fan, what do you think went wrong? What is your observation?
It's life has come full circle for me in the last 1 year.
Why?
I was in Dubai when India lost to Pakistan 10 wickets in the World Cup opening game. I was today at the Adelaide cricket ground when we lost to England by 10 wickets. And, it's nothing less than a big loss. But let's not forget, as a fans, we're all hurting. But more than us, it's the Indian cricket team that's hurting. Because even though you lose a game, but when you lose to a team by 10 wickets, I know there's a lot of emotion that goes through every cricketer. We saw Rohit Sharma in the dugout crying. He had tears in his eyes. I know a lot of players would be very upset inside the dressing room as well. It's easy for us sitting here and criticizing them.
Well said.
But at the end of the day, it's a sport, and one team has to win.
So here's the thing, Mr. Chabra. Here's the thing, Mr. Chabra. None of what is being said right now is criticism alone of the players. You see, there is a lot more that goes into cricket. There is selection involved, there is scheduling involved, a calendar involved, form involved, all sorts of things. So to blame just the cricketers, I would dare not do that. There is absolutely no way we can, perhaps challenge their patriotism for the country also.
Yeah, I agree. The T20 World Cup scheduling was actually good for us because we had a long break when we went into the T20 World Cup. But what really went wrong was, first of all, we didn't have the intent when it comes to the opening pair. Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul, they scored at six runs and over for the first 6 overs. You have to show intent when you're there, when you're playing a T20 World Cup in Australia. Second, the selection process was wrong. A player like Yuzvendra Chahal should have been into a squad in any given squad, because a leg spinner can get you wickets in a T20 game. He wasn't made to play. I'm not blaming anyone particularly for the selection. I'm not saying that there's a quota or something like that, but the selection wasn't right. And, we can debate about Rishabh Pant and Dinesh Karthik, because we saw the kind of a performance that Dinesh Karthik was pulling in the bilateral series. And given on that form, he was given an opportunity in the first 4 games. He didn't click. Obviously, that backfired for us. And by the time Rishabh Pant got in, he didn't get too many deliveries to play in both the games. So I think, a lot went wrong for us in the crucial game.
Yeah.
But again, it's a lot of ifs and buts that we can keep discussing, but at the end of the day, England played much better cricket than what India played. They were the better team. On the winning side. Exactly.
Today they were the better team.
On today.
Seth, I want to come back to you, and I want to approach the question of leagues, league-based cricket, and cricket for the country, wearing the country's jersey. This whole debate that are we playing too much cricket? Is there too much of IPL? And now there is other forms of league cricket happening in other countries where teams have been bought by Indians actually. You look at the football example, and league football has taken over other forms. Do you see cricket also going in the same way? Where these ICC tournaments will be sprinkled here or there, but cricket predominantly will become a league special game.
Well, the question I suppose you're asking is, do we get a load of free agents that go league to league to league, or do we get players that are part of clubs that have that long-lasting relationship with both the fans and their squads, if you like?
Correct.
Because it's almost like every league now, another draft of a squad with another group of players who may have been your arch rivals last time around. I think one of the problems that India have had, particularly in the T20 formats, is that all of the best players have now played with all of the best Indian players in the IPL. There are absolutely no surprises. And from an English perspective, it was that moment in 2005 when they looked across to the balcony where the Australians celebrated getting a draw in the Ashes, and all of a sudden they realised that this great team weren't as invincible. And there are some phenomenal Indian players, but you've got to say that there's no shock, there's no surprise. Whoever was brought into that team, all of the other best players in the world know who they are and have an idea of how to play, how to bowl against them, how to bat against them, and a little bit of an idea of their character. And I think that maybe is a big part of all of this. I think one of the funniest things I've seen on social media...
But Seth, this works both ways. I mean, if English players know a lot about Indian players, the same is true vice versa.
Yeah, to an extent. But I think it's more so, when you look at the IPL, the desire of players to go and play in the IPL. You look at the T20 league, and on social media over here, there was just one tweet, which was about the fact that the T20 Blast is greater than the IPL. Now, clearly that's tongue-in-cheek. I don't think it's even the best short-form competition in the UK. But I think it does bring a little bit of that together. And maybe that's one of those things that maybe India can reflect on. Are they going to change it? No, of course they can't change that aspect of it. But it's allowed other players to maybe catch and go past some of those Indian players in all conditions.
Okay. Anis Sajan, I want to come to you and then Sharda Ugra. Anis, do you feel that with the clubs or leagues, many players playing lots of cricket, the board must actually look at increasing the exposure of more players in different formats? First, select players who are fit in a particular format and then use them there, instead of making all players play all formats.
You hit the nail, Sanket. Like you got to select players for the right format. A T20 specialist for a T20 format. Now, since we are talking about the T20 World Cup, we got to pick up players with the guys who are fearless, who are not cagey like KL Rahul. I'm afraid I have to take his name, but that's been the story for the last three World Cups. We got to pick up bold players and use them accordingly. Now, I mentioned about Yuzvendra Chahal and you're talking about Ravichandran Ashwin. Ravichandran Ashwin is a defensive bowler who probably now knows to take a monkered wicket but can't take a wicket bowling. His off spinners. So there is where I'm coming to the point that you pick up players like Prithvi Shaw, go in with the fire, forget about winning or losing. Like I said that before in my statement, that you are saying that you're going to play Gango style of cricket, but you have played fearful style of cricket. Today you picked Rishabh Pant to thwart Adil Rashid. And I know we had a partnership between Virat and Pandya. But you had to throw him in the middle to put England up, plans upset by going after. And by the time Rashid was done with his 12 overs, by the 12th over, and Pant was like a waste. So that's what I want to ask. Select players for the right format and don't select players by big names, whether it is a Rohit Sharma, whether it is a KL Rahul, whether it is a Ashwin. Pick up players who are fearless and who are there for that squad.
Okay, Sharda Ugra, your views as we end this show.
Sorry, could you just repeat that, Sanket?
No, I'm saying, how would you respond to this whole question of getting the right player to play the right format and not play all of them in all formats?
I think Anis is absolutely right. And I think that there are relatively a very small clutch of players that play all formats. What happens in 2020 is that because it is just absolutely high stakes when you're playing, you've played two 2020 World Cups within a year. So you are getting almost exposed for what your sort of slow response is to the fact that the world is playing it differently. In this 1 year, a lot of your fans are just disappointed and like Rishi said that we are feeling awful, but that's about it. So I completely agree with this. And it's a question of, are you picking the right people to play in the right place when you play matches of this kind? So why are you not playing your more attacking players higher up in the order, giving them more sort of time, letting them play in the power play, like Surya Kumar, for example, or why aren't you playing Hardik Pandya? Why your three top batsmen are the same kind of batsmen? And we've all been saying this for more than a year, I think, people that are there, but it doesn't seem to be any kind of response to it in the way they say, no, we are now going to play boldly and whatever. And you say, okay, fine, go for it. And then you get a result like this. It is what it is. It's not a very complicated thing. And what Shekhar was saying about selection and who's playing here and who's playing there, he's right about that as well. There are many other sort of facets that are there, but this game, this tournament, you would hope that, the team leaves things behind and then was able to play their best cricket. But that wasn't today. We didn't see their best cricket.
Let's hope this drought ends. Let's hope that we learn a lot from this. What has happened today is, I would continue to maintain, Sharda Ugra, even if you don't agree with me, humiliating. But it's behind us.
I can suggest alternative word.
Sorry?
I can suggest alternative word. I can suggest alternative word.
Disappointed.
Mortifying,
Mildly upset.
Disappointed.
Or as the British say, we are in a spot of bother. Okay. Thank you.
Discombobulated.
Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. We end the show with this Instagram feed of Union Minister Smriti Irani. She's a good sport in her elements. So that's a meme from Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma, very popular serial where this lady is, you can see clearly, not pleased, someone. And to this image, Smriti Irani, the union minister, says, when you ask galti se, that means by mistake, someone, score kya hai? And then that's the reaction that comes in. Mat pucho atyachar T20 World Cup. It's an emotional country. We love our cricketers. We'll continue to do so. But we are going to ask questions, make memes, criticize with the intention that we are going to win one more time. Good night and goodbye.